buckle up, everybody, because we are diving into a topic that is just exploding right now.
Yeah.
AI in education. You've sent over a mountain of research on this, and honestly, it feels like everyone's got a take on it. Over 85,000 publications already. That's wild. What's really struck you as you've dug into all this?
Well, it's been fascinating to see the sheer range of reactions. You've got some educators picturing a futuristic dystopia with robots doling out detentions, while others are practically building AI-powered classrooms in their basements. There's this incredible energy around it, but also a healthy dose of, hold on a second, what does this actually mean?
It's like we're trying to fit this massive concept of AI into the box of traditional education. And it's just not a clean fit. Is it really about using supercomputers to churn out multiple choice tests? I mean, that seems like a colossal waste of potential, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's the business as usual trap we need to avoid. And thankfully, a lot of the research you've shared is pushing past that initial anxiety and into some really intriguing possibilities. One of those is this idea of ARG chatbots, a more focused approach to AI and learning.
RAG chatbots. Okay. You've definitely got my attention now. It sounds kind of sci-fi, but in a good way. Break it down for me. What are we talking about here?
So RAG stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generative, which I know that sounds super complicated, but it's actually pretty straightforward. Think of it like this. Imagine a study buddy who's read every single thing your teacher has ever assigned and can recall it perfectly. That's essentially what a RAG chatbot does.
So instead of pulling from the entire internet, like some AI tools, it's drawing from a very specific set of information.
Exactly. And that's a key difference because it means RAG bots are way less likely to hallucinate or make stuff up. They're sticking to the script, so to speak, which makes them much more reliable for educational purposes.
That makes a lot of sense. You don't want your history tutor accidentally quoting Star Wars, right?
Precisely. But beyond just being reliable, this controlled data source also has huge implications for privacy. And that's something you were really interested in, right?
Absolutely. Student data privacy is such a big deal these days. It feels like every app and website wants a piece of our information. What makes ArgBots different?
With a RAG system, what students input isn't being used to train the AI model. It's not getting gobbled up by some massive data mining operation. It's staying put, which offers a lot more peace of mind for everyone involved.
Okay, so we've got these super smart, reliable AI study buddies who are also respectful of privacy. That's a pretty good start. But how did this actually play out in the classroom? We're about to find out as we dive into the concept of three-dimensional learning. All right, so we've got these reliable ARG bots ready to join the classroom, but I'm dying to know what their impact on actual learning looks like. This whole three-dimensional learning thing you mentioned has me really intrigued.
Excellent point. It's not just about having a digital study buddy. It's about changing the entire game. Three-dimensional learning, or 3DL for short, is all about moving away from that old school rote memorization and into deeper, more connected understanding. And AI, like these ARG bots, can really be that bridge.
So instead of just knowing the facts, it's about knowing how to use them. As someone who's definitely spent their fair share of time just cramming for tests, I can get behind that.
Exactly. And the best part is we're not just talking theory here. The research you shared has some incredible real-world examples. One that really jumped out at me involved London Dispersion Forces, or LDFs for short. They used a RAG bot trained on existing research and course material to analyze how students explained LDFs, going way beyond just a multiple choice answer.
Okay, you're talking about some pretty complex scientific concepts here. I'll admit even I'm feeling a little bit of that back in school anxiety just hearing those terms.
Yeah.
How can you possibly train an AI to understand something that complex?
That's the amazing part. This RAG bot was able to analyze student explanations of LDFs with over 90% accuracy compared to human experts.
90%? That's incredible, especially when we're talking about something as nuanced as explaining scientific concepts. Are there other examples where we're seeing this kind of accuracy?
Absolutely.
Right.
They also talked about a bot that analyzed student reasoning about acid-base reactions. Again, incredibly high agreement with what the human researchers were seeing. It's like AI is finally starting to grasp not just what we know, but how we understand.
This is blowing my mind, honestly. It's one thing for AI to grade a test, but to actually understand a student's thought process, that's next level stuff.
And it gets even cooler. Think about the Socratic method. Asking guided questions to help someone learn and discover for themselves. The research suggests that AI tutors could use this same method to really push students toward those aha moments.
So instead of just saying, here's the answer, The AI is like a personal tutor prodding you to think critically and find the answer yourself.
Exactly. They gave this great example about teaching reaction rates. Imagine a Socratic chatbot asking you a series of questions about temperature, kinetic energy, and how those things affect how quickly molecules interact. Instead of just memorizing a definition, you're building a mental model through guided exploration.
Now, that's what I call personalized learning. It's almost like having a conversation with the textbook itself. But since it's a RAG chatbot, we know it's staying on topic and not going off on some random tangent about the history of thermometers or something.
Precisely. It's that focused, tailored approach that makes our Agreebots so exciting for education. We're not just automating the same old stuff, we're creating entirely new ways to learn and teach.
It's seriously making me rethink everything I thought I knew about AI in the classroom. But with any powerful tool, there are always those what-if questions. What are some of the cautions or concerns that came up in the research? Let's unpack those right after this quick break. This whole conversation has me feeling incredibly optimistic about the future of learning. But like you said, with any powerful tool, it's not just about what it can do, it's about how we choose to use it. What are some of the cautions or concerns that came up in the research around using AI in education?
Yeah, one of the biggest concerns, and rightfully so, is this idea of over-reliance on technology. Just because we can automate something doesn't mean we should. The goal shouldn't be to replace teachers with robots. It's to give educators superpowers.
Right. It's like giving a master craftsman a new set of tools. They're not going to suddenly forget their skills. They're going to find even more creative and impactful ways to use them.
Exactly. And that's where collaboration becomes so important. The research you shared really emphasizes the need for open educational resources when it comes to AI.
Okay.
Imagine if educators around the world could share their chatbot designs, learn from each other, and build on each other's successes.
Open source AI for education. That's a fantastic idea. It would not only make these tools more accessible to everyone, but also help ensure they're being developed with the needs of students and teachers in mind, not just driven by big tech.
Precisely. It's about harnessing the power of this technology while staying grounded in those core values of education. It's about empowering learners and educators, not replacing them.
So where do we go from here? What does this all actually mean for the future of learning?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The research you shared really left me with this incredibly thought-provoking idea. What kind of learning experiences do we want for ourselves and for future generations in a world increasingly shaped by AI?
Right. Do we want to cling to those business as usual methods, or do we dare to imagine something truly transformative? Because with tools like these RAG chatbots, it seems like we have a real shot at reshaping the way we learn and teach for the better.
And that's something worth getting excited about.
Absolutely. It feels like we're on the cusp of something truly revolutionary. A huge thank you to you and to all of you listening for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the future of learning. Until next time, keep those minds curious and stay hungry for knowledge.